the match for CSK?
It was part of it. It was we were exposed tonight. I think sometimes that's reflected on the bowling. If you're a little bit two sides of the wicket, then areas where we know we're not strong gets exposed, and I think that's what happened tonight. But certainly we're on the back foot. Some good fielders making mistakes as well. So it's not just the areas we were weak. It was some good fielders making mistakes, and then we just got a little bit on the back foot and heads down a little bit. So. Look, that can happen in a long tournament. It's not a great performance by any means, but we've got hours rather than days to rectify.
You batted first in 3 games so far in the tournament. The last 10 overs against Mumbai, 78 for 4, today 84 for 4. Do you think this is a worrying trend because the team feels comfortable chasing, and when they are setting a target, they lack clarity as such?
Is it only 3 times we batted first?
Yeah, against against Mumbai Indians in Pune today, and one other team where Watson
got 100.
Yeah.
I thought it was more. So what was the question?
So do you think the team struggles setting a target rather than they feel comfortable while chasing? Because
look, I think that applies to every team. To be honest, there's a general feeling that the wickets, when they get a little bit of dew on them, get better. And hitting these days, when you're given certainty chasing in an uncertain game, that's an advantage. So there has definitely been a psychological shift from pressure with runs on the board. It's now about controlling risk, and players' ability to clear the fence and stay up with rates of 12, 13 and over is just becoming better and better. So there is definitely a preference with all teams, I think, to bat second this time of year. Afternoon games and very dry wickets would be the only exception. So I think pretty much results are going close to that, but that's the preferred route.
Steven, what about the innings of Shubman Gill?
Yeah, he played well. It was interesting when the 2 youngsters were at the crease. We looked at it as a time to put pressure on them, but also that fearlessness of youth as well, where the game could go either way. And some of the shot making is maybe a little bit predetermined, certainly impulsive, but it's exciting to watch, isn't it? And I think as Gill's innings got on, he got more composure and played well. It's his first real opportunity, isn't it? He's been batting down the order, so he took that opportunity well today, and a big part for them winning the match.
Today also the platform was set for 200 plus total, and Dhoni was also in the crease. So what went wrong as far as batting is concerned?
We lost a little bit of intensity. We could have had a little bit more in the last 4 to 5 overs. Need a little bit more, obviously, from Jadeja. Run a ball needs to be more than that if he's going to fill that role. And they bowl well. You've got the spinners, which was one of our major concerns. With spinning left, we had to take a bit more of a risk, and they bowl well. Narayan is quality, even start of the innings, end of the innings. So he almost takes a couple of overs out of your innings, the way that he bowls. So he stunted momentum. But look, we weren't that unhappy with 180 or 178. We perhaps a 5 to 10 out there, 190. That's still a pretty competitive score, but we just didn't start well enough. We had opportunities, and we just didn't take them. So it's another night where we're just fractionally off, and as a team we can't afford to do that. We're not that good a side where we can have bad days and still get wins. We can compete, but the result is probably appropriate.
Steven, given the fact that plenty of matches still in hand and Chennai is in a very comfortable position,
yep,
do you feel it's the right kind of a match situation that gives the perfect alarm call for the teams to not be complacent for coming matches?
No, we've got a lot of alarm bells going off. There's no complacency, trust me. The nature of the games we've won don't allow us to be complacent at all. We know that it's a very tight competition. I think it's the tightest season to date. The teams are really smartly put together, and it comes down to key moments. And fortunately for us, we're in a good position because we won some key moments during the tournament. But we know we have to keep winning those, and it can turn so quickly. So that's why performances like these, you pick them apart quickly, but you really have to discard them. As I say, we've got a travel day tomorrow, and then we're up against a Bangalore side that's desperate. stay in the competition. So it doesn't get any easier, and it's that time of the tournament also where there's a lot of games in a row, so there's energy levels and keeping the guys fresh and on task, which is one of the major aspects before you have your run home. So there's a lot to work on. If you win, you can just keep riding that momentum, but a loss just makes you a little slap in the face, and hopefully it has an effect in a day and a half's time, but it's still going to be hard work.
Last one, sir. You look so ominous, coming into this match, winning all those big hitting. But right now, after this match, your bowling would have become a major concern.
Yeah, it's a good point. We weren't ominous coming into this. We've just played well, and we've just been gutsy and had some good fighting wins. But we've got to be careful that one bad game where the bowling looks a little bit off, you don't get too carried away, and that's always been sort of the philosophy of Chennai and with MS, that we still got to give faith in the guys that did the job the game before. Too easy, you can buy into mistakes in one game and then start chopping and changing. You've got to identify the things that went wrong, and if they can't be rectified, then maybe you make a change. But look, those guys that played the last game but bowled us to a win. So you just got to be careful not to be too knee-jerk, and make sure that you just run the sequence out long enough that you see true form come through.
Thank you.
Thank you.